Well, how about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to a hot, muggy day here in South Carolina. It's Thursday afternoon. Thursdays, I get off a little bit earlier than the rest of the week, but my afternoon is going to be booked this afternoon. We've got several things that we need to do. First of which, the feed mill just called and said that our feed is ready. I ordered another ton of the 16% beef conditioner blend. So we're gonna go get it, and it's gonna go in the barn here on pallets. Got some pallets right here behind me that we'll stack that up on once we get it back. Typically, I have a friend that has a front end loader that lives right down the road. Typically, he comes over with his tractor to unload it, but I get tired of bothering him all the time. So we're gonna do something a little bit different this time around. I'm gonna get the 1 ton, instead of putting it in 2 different sacks, we're gonna get it in 3, kind of lighten them up a little bit. And probably 6-7 months ago, I bent the boom pole on our tractor, but I got it rebuilt a whole lot bigger. That's a 3-inch pipe, Schedule 40, with some hooks on it. This is gonna be a whole lot stouter. And I tested it out on a half a bag one time, and it picked it up. But we're gonna see if this thing will pick up the bags today so we can get them off the trailer. I've already got the trailer hooked up, so we're just gonna shoot down the road and go pick up our feed and bring it back here, and we're gonna get it unloaded. I've never really filmed loading feed. Probably gonna film a little bit today if I can, but explain a little bit of the process. This truck right here is getting filled up in the ceiling right there. You can't really see it. Is a big hopper that they weigh the feed in, so they'll measure me out a ton in that hopper, and then we'll be standing on the bed of the trailer and just loading our bags up. It's already pre-weighed, so I didn't have to drive across the scale. I don't have to weigh out or anything like that. That hopper right there has a scale on it, so it's pretty quick and simple. This is actually the first time I've ever had to sit in line to get loaded, but I think he's about done, and we're gonna get loaded up, go to the house. So just left the feed mill. We got all loaded up, got right at a ton in 3 different sacks, and I haven't paid my bill yet. I'm gonna go tomorrow and pay it, and I'll let y'all know. I'll just put it right here, what it costs a ton, and I might put a comparison to if I would have bought that in bags, so you can see what you save over buying in bulk. But that's the first time I've ever filmed at the feed mill, and really, if you look at any of my videos, I haven't really filmed that much in public. Still kind of awkward around the camera, especially in public and around other people, even my parents. And I'm used to filming around Maddie, that's no big deal, and the goats, you know, they don't care what I'm saying or what I'm doing, but it's still a little awkward filming in public. Maybe one day I'll get used to it. I set the camera up on the tailgate of the truck, and my good friend Hal is the one helping me load the feed. He runs the feed mill here in Newberry, and he said, so I'm gonna be a movie star. So I guess, well, Hal, yeah, today you are. So first time filming around him, even though he's a good buddy, is still a little bit awkward, but that's just part of this YouTube thing. We're gonna have to get used to it so we can make our channel grow, so we can film some more things other than just the couple goats that we've got at the house. So we're gonna get this feed unloaded. I'm pulling in the drive now, get it unloaded, because we need this trailer here in about 30 minutes for the second half of this video. We're gonna be going up to the lease, taking the tractor and the bush hog and knocking down the kind of dead fescue so we can get some new growth, but we'll talk about all that here in just a second after we get all this feed unloaded. So like I said, I did get this in 3 bags so we can pick it up with this tractor on the rear end, and hopefully it won't pick up the front of our tractor. Got it back down this hill where the trailer's pretty close to the ground, so it's not gonna be picking up the truck too much when I back on there with the tractor. And we're just gonna go ahead and put it on 3 different pallets right now underneath the barn. And what I'm probably gonna do is eventually combine all 3 of these bags plus what we got left over from the last time we got feed. But let's crank up this tractor and see how this goes. It's probably gonna pick up this front end, and I'm gonna have to drive with the 2 rear brakes and kind of finagle it in there. Man, you gotta love it when the plan comes together. The next 2 are gonna be a little more difficult because we gotta actually back up onto the trailer. But that thing definitely picked it up high enough. My front tires were coming off the ground a little bit. Had to use the brakes to steer. If you don't know how to use the brakes to steer on a tractor, you don't have a front end loader and you don't have a whole lot of weight on the front end, it's a trick you need to learn. Your left brake controls your left tire. Your right brake controls your right tire. Something we've had to use for years with this tractor, especially picking up big round bales and heavy things. Let's see if we can get backed up on this trailer and hook up to the second one. Trying to steer with one hand. About where we need to be. So the first time I did try to back over the top of it, get some of the weight closer under that second hook that's closer on the pole to us, but it just wouldn't pick it up high enough. In the second hole, you're able to pick that bag up a whole lot higher. Bag number 2 in there. Gotta be in drive. Works like a charm. This one's a little bit lighter. That last bag on the end was definitely the heaviest of all of them. Honestly, if this thing had 100 more pounds in the front of this tractor one, but if that boom would pick up another 6 to 8 inches, I think we can get a whole bag. We're able to get all 3 of the bags unloaded off the trailer and put into the barn. I am going to combine that extra bag and the partial bag that we have left over to those other ones, just so it's not taking up so much room. But we're going to do that later. First, we need to get up to the lease and do some bush hogging. I already got the bush hog hooked up behind the tractor, and if you can see, there's a pretty big gap underneath there, and that's on purpose. I want to just knock off the tops of that fescue. In our neck of the woods, fescue typically grows year round. It's green year round. But what you'll see is just kind of dead tops on it where the seed head was. And we want to knock that down for a couple reasons. Number one, the goats don't eat it. There's nothing on their nutritional value. But also, whenever they're going through there and kind of eating what's beneath it, that stuff's just knocking them in the face. They're not a big fan of it, especially with cows. That's a good way for your cows to get pink eye. It's scratching their eyes and can cause some problems. But if you look behind me in this, our neighbor's field, this big white, I mean, the lighting isn't doing it justice on the camera. Can't really see it, but that's just brown tops of fescue that didn't get bushed down. The neighbors actually bush hogged this field some about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I bush hogged all our pastures here. Our tractor just got out of the shop yesterday. We had to get some bearings replaced, so I borrowed the tractor from work, but I didn't get the lease done. So we're gonna go up there. It's gonna accomplish that. And also, whenever you mow grass, it's just something it does to it, disturbing, I don't know if it's the microbes, the plant itself. You know, a sole purpose of a plant is to reproduce. So whenever you knock off that seed head, I guess it disturbs it enough, thinks it's being eaten by an animal. It needs to grow back and produce another seed head. So that's what we're trying to accomplish by knocking off that seed head, just kind of stimulating that grass to grow. We've gotten enough rain around here. The grass should be growing up there a little bit better than it is. So we're gonna go see if this will help it out. So if you look out here in this field that we put the goats in up the road from our house, you can see a lot of brown in here, and that's just the tops of this fescue that's already seeded out. The goats pretty much ate all the seed heads off, or they fell already. We're just gonna kind of knock that down, leave the bush hog up as high as it'll stay, and just kind of mow over it. Right now, I'd say this stuff's probably, I mean, it's pretty decent height on it. I just wish it was a little bit thicker, and I think if we take this brown off the top and kind of cut the tips off of this fescue, it's going to kind of recover a lot better, a lot quicker. We still got about right at a month before the goats come back up here, so we're going to get this good and going, and hopefully we can get some growth off of it. When we bring the goats in here again, we won't hit it too hard. That way we have some forage throughout the winter for them to munch on. So we got all the bush hogging done. It took off a little bit more than I wanted to, but it'll be okay. We can still have about a month before those goats are gonna be in there. I meant to do this probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago, but like I said earlier, our tractor was in the shop, and the one I borrowed from work to do ours, this is another 5 miles up the road past my work. So it's just too far to drive our company tractor up there to do that without loading it on the trailer. With the bush hog on that tractor, it wouldn't fit on my trailer anyway, so it just wasn't an option. But we got it done. It looks a whole lot better, at least for the landowner. The pasture is right beside their house. I know they're gonna like it, looking at it a little better with all that brown grass out the way. They told me not to worry about it, but I feel like it should look good if I'm gonna use their land, and also I think it's gonna stimulate that grass to grow. But other than that, it's been a pretty busy afternoon. It's only 5:15 now. I still have to do all my chores, pick the garden, put the goats up, and cook supper at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. We got all our feed hauled, we got our bush hogging done, and I'm happy to have it all done. It's something that needed to be done, and and it just so happened all of it got done this afternoon. But I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see y'all on the next one.